I'm good. I'm going to do another episode of WHEELZ of Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Season's greetings.
Yes.
I mean Matt, this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to a very special holiday edition of Wheels of Fury.
Yes, it is that time again. The holidays are upon us.
We got our hot cocoa. And it wouldn't be a Christmas special without a look back at, and we're gonna finally do
After 2 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
whatever. Super Clash 3.
And this was a fucking good show. And I mean, you look at AWA,
Yep.
and you think this was 4 years before they closed their doors,
Yeah.
something like that. And
4 or 5 years, yeah.
but I'm watching the show, and it's not the most famous match, which I thought was the main event, but it wasn't.
Right.
But a lot of stars that you didn't even know were on AWA eventually going over to WWF.
Oh, yeah. There was many stars that were in the AWA that eventually made their way over to the WWF. And it's funny because before I came down here, this is completely on a different topic. Well, along the same lines, but kind of on a side note. I was going through Facebook earlier, and I seen a picture of Bob Backlund and Nick Bockwinkel. They had a champion versus champion match in 79, I believe it was.
Oh.
I think it was a double counter, but yeah. And of course, Nick Bockwinkel is widely known as AWA World Champion.
Yes, of course. I think Nick Bockwinkel was one of the most sophisticated wrestlers
Oh, yeah.
of his time,
For sure.
or whatever. And I mean, it's kind of a stretch, but when I look at Bobby Lashley, he's kind of reminded me of like an African-American version of Nick Bockwinkel, although he didn't really use big words.
No. Like, Bobby is well spoken, and Bobby has that sophistication, but where Nick Bockwinkel was very technical in the ring, Lashley's more just your straight up smash mouth in your face, I'm gonna kick her fucking ass and make no bones about it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool though. Seeing as how we're talking about the AWA, and you know, Bockwinkel was a big part of the AWA. He was world champion 3 times, I believe. 3, 4 times, something like that. So,
And you know, going to high school, I didn't watch too much AWA. There was a show on the Comedy Network for some reason that was on that channel, but Wrestling with the Past.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I kind of thought that it was based on AWA, but I mean, you have the Vishons, and then you have Baron von Raschke. I'm not quite sure if Killer Kowalski was in AWA. I thought him or Whipper Belly Watson, but I don't think he was either.
I don't think Kowalski was. I'm not sure about Whipper.
and then of course Gene Knitsky.
Gene Knitsky, yes.
But yeah, this was a very good show. So I mean, let's not waste any time.
Yes. So we start things off with a 6-man tag match. You got the Guevaras, you got Chavo, Mondo, and Hector taking on the team of Cactus Jack and the Rock and Roll RPMs.
Yeah.
Of course, the Guerrero family is very well known, and as well as Cactus Jack, the Rock and Roll RPMs. Not very familiar with them.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest with you. And I mean, you look at Mick Foley's career, and you know, I obviously seen him in magazines when he was in, you know, WCW.
Yeah.
As Cactus Jack.
Yep.
Of course, watching him when he went to WWE as Mankind, and then of course, you know, his career from there, and him being in his 30s. And normally when wrestlers start their career, it's in their 20s.
Yeah.
But then finding out, like, many, many years later, he actually wrestled in the 80s. And then,
Right.
of course, you know, you have him in WCCW and in AWA. And, man, I mean, yeah, he was a lot skinnier, but fuck can he go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could hang with the best of them.
And I mean, the girls really got theirs into. As much as Cactus Jack and the Rock and Roll RPMs, really, you thought they were going to be the victors. It was actually, obviously, no-brainer, the Guerreros.
The Guerrero.
And so, and yeah, I mean, you didn't see too much of Hector. I mean, obviously he was the gobbledygooker, but I mean,
Yeah.
other than that, he mostly worked in WCW, and then of course, Chavo was wrestling in the 80s and so on. I don't know if he wrestled in WCW, but like his son.
No, I don't think he did.
But, you know, Chavo Classic, if you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
the 2000s. You know, unfortunately passed away,
Yes.
but this was a very good match, and I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Guerrero's definitely one of the best families in professional
Oh,
wrestling.
yeah. One of the best families. One of the most widely known and popular families
Right.
in wrestling. So next we go on to a match for the WCWA World Light Heavyweight Championship. You got Eric Embry against Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, a young Jeff Jarrett.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this was good too, and I mean, a lot of flack that some people give Jeff Jarrett. You know, back then, he could wrestle, and he was actually very good. I mean, and I understand that he had a bad reputation
Nah.
for trying to put himself over in later years,
Yeah.
but no, this was a very good match. I mean, they were both impressive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jeff Jarrett had a very stellar career. Eric Embry, I'm familiar with through the Texas wrestling scene, if you will.
Yeah,
Other than that, not overly familiar with him. So
I'm trying to, I don't know if I even saw any matches. I might have
Right.
with him. I mean, there's obviously a lot of matches in the 80s that I saw Jeff Jarrett in.
Oh, yeah.
I probably did see him because it wasn't Dallas wrestling, so.
True.
But anyways, Eric Embry won the match and had the title.
Yep.
So, yeah, this was still a good match.
So next we go on to a match with Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant against Wayne Bloom.
Oh, Jimmy Valiant.
Yeah, one of a kind.
Oh. Yeah. I might have seen him a few times, you know, just watching the show. I know I've seen a lot of them in recent matches, like in AWA and stuff, but it's been a long time, so yeah, Jimmy Valiant, man, what a good wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy and Johnny were probably one of the best tag teams
Oh yeah.
in WWF.
Yeah, they were a hell of a team.
But yeah, Jimmy Valiant went over.
Yeah, Jimmy got the win on this one.
Yeah.
Not overly familiar with Wayne Bloom. Then again, there's gonna be a lot of people on this card.
Yeah.
Not gonna be too familiar with, but nevertheless. So next we go on to a match for the WCWA Texas Heavyweight Championship. Iceman King Parsons versus Brickhouse Brown.
You know what? We talked about Brickhouse Brown. He recently passed away as well. Yeah, this was interesting. And just the interesting hairdo.
Yes, of Parsons. Oh yeah.
And I have seen him wrestle before. I can't remember what match it was or matches, but I know that I've seen him wrestle because I actually thought, what the hell's wrong with that hair?
Yeah.
But that was the style back then, I guess. This was a really good match.
Yeah, very, very good match.
Yeah, he ended up winning, retaining the title.
Yeah, Iceman retained the title.
Yeah.
So this next match is a very, very interesting dynamic. It was a mixed tag team match.
Yes.
For the AWA Women's and Men's, you could say, tag team championships. On one team, you've got Wendy Rector and Top Guns, Ricky Rice and Derek Dukes, against the team of Bad Company, Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka. There's a name for you. And the women's champion, Medusa Michelli.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, we all know about Medusa. We all know how badass she is. Whether she's in WWE, WCW, New Japan, wherever else.
Yep.
AWA, holy fuck. She... And of course, Wendy Rector, who I didn't think wrestled in AWA.
Well, this says she did. I don't know for how long it was. It may, but yeah, she wrestled in Super Class 3 at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure when she got screwed out of the women's title, she didn't want to come back to WWE. But whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a good match, and I mean, you have the men teaming with the women.
Yep.
And that was one of the first matches that I've seen, the earliest, I mean, like, that kind of style of tag team. I mean, I would have mixed tag team matches in the future. You know, you look at Triple H and Stephanie versus Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. And then, of course, you know, Glamorella. I mean, I think they have one match for the women's / Intercontinental title.
Yeah, but never like a tag team and a woman against another team. It was kind of like an well, not really intergender, a mixed 6-person tag match.
Yes.
With championships on the line.
Yeah, exactly.
And Andy Rector and the Top Guns got the win on this one.
Yeah.
So now we go on to a match for the vacant AWA International Television Championship. International. You got Greg Gagne and Rugged Ronnie Garvin.
Oh boy. And you know, it's funny because you look at Rugged Ronnie Garvin, and here he's built from Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
And I mean, I thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute, he's from Quebec. Actually, I thought he was from Alberta, but when I looked it up, he's from, so he's Canadian. Too.
Yes. Ronnie Garvin is Canadian.
So, obviously, he lived in Atlanta. But still, this was awesome because, I mean, both very good wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
And Greg Gagne being the son of Vern, who was the owner of AWA, and you look at shit, like, he was obviously younger, and if, you know, you look at 10 years later, could you imagine fucking Greg Gagne versus Shane McMahon?
Oh, I know, right?
Fuck. But I mean, this was a really good match too. I mean, Ronnie Garvin got the upper hand.
Yeah.
So, this match, yeah. It was a count out, not very fun. I hate those matches. But it is what it is. I can say we start the match until there's a winner, but that's not always possible.
Yeah.
But it was still a really good match for what it was. It was just a shit ending.
Unfortunately, yes.
But
Then we go on to, this is a really interesting dynamic for a match. A street fight lingerie battle royal. You've got Syrian terrorist. I probably butchered that pronunciation. Anyways, Bambi, Peggy Lee Leather, Lori Lynn, Brandy May, Malibu, Nina, Pocahontas, and the infamous and legendary Luna Basson.
interestingly enough, Nina, aka Tina, aka Ivory.
Ivory, yes.
And when I saw her in the interview, I was like, holy shit. Like, her career goes all the way back to AWA. I mean, obviously, you know, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling was in the mid-80s, but still, like... And then you have Luna Vachon, which I didn't catch at first. But then you listen to that voice, and it's like, okay.
Yep.
But this was an interesting match. I mean... As much as I didn't watch wrestling women's wrestling rather, back then, this match was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I mean, compare that to the Wrestle Rock match. You know, oh no, maybe it was another Battle Royal I'm thinking of that we did. That was the shits. This match was actually very good.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. I mean, and they had interviews through the night with, well, Ivory and Luna Vachon and Leather, what's her name?
Peggy Lee Leather.
Peggy Lee Leather, yeah.
Yeah, very... Just like, you got the concept of a street fight. And then you throw lingerie in there. Well, street fight, battle royal, and lingerie.
Yep.
Three things you wouldn't necessarily ever think you would hear together, but there you are.
Exactly.
So now we go on to a boot camp match, and the master of the boot camp match, Sergeant Slaughter, Ted Hood, and Colonel De Beers.
Colonel De Beers. I've seen him wrestle. It's been a long time, but I know that name. And I mean, this match, you don't see too many boot camp matches anymore.
No. Although I would say probably the most famous boot camp match, you could say, was from 1979, I want to say. Maybe 77. It was in Madison Square Garden. It was Sergeant Slaughter and Pat Patterson.
1981 again.
Foul! Okay.
But yeah, honestly, you look at this match, there's no rules, there's no ref, which was interesting back then.
Yeah.
But just like Patterson and Slaughter, these two beat the shit out of each other.
Oh yeah.
This Sergeant Slaughter is the OG to these matches.
Yeah, Slaughter got the win on this one.
Obviously.
Yes.
But yeah, they brutalized each other and busted each other up.
Oh yeah.
Good. I mean, there's gonna be a match on here that was even brutal.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. Anyways,
Yeah.
we've got next a match for the WCWA World Tag Team titles. You got the Samoan SWAT team, Sabu and Fatu,
Yes.
against Michael Hayes and Steve Cox.
Yeah, and you had Buddy Rogers
Mm-hmm.
in
The
the
corner.
corner of Fatu and Samu.
Yep.
And it's funny because shortly after this, well, maybe a few more years, but you would have the head shrinkers in WWE.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, I don't know where WWE was going for, and Vince McMahon, you know, stereotypes everything.
Yeah.
You know, you have, oh, they're Samoan, well, let's make them savages. It's like,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
but I mean, I like that team, and like I said, when I first saw Alpha, he scared the shit right out of me, so.
Yeah, exactly.
But this was a really good match, and I mean, you look at Michael Hayes, I mean, he is probably one of the best tag team wrestlers of his time.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
And I mean, I don't believe this was the Fabulous Freebirds.
No.
But this was a good match, and I mean, again, Samu and Fatu,
Yeah.
they really had a good tag team, like, dynamic.
Oh,
even,
yeah.
even in AWA.
Oh, yeah. Or there was, you know, the AWA or, you know, the WWF or whatever. But yeah, they were very, very good together.
Yeah.
And you go on to an Indian strap match. And you got the master of the Indian strap match, Chief Wahoo McDaniel, against Manny Fernandez.
Yep. And like I said, you thought that the boot camp match was brutal. Holy fuck. And I mean, strap matches are usually like that.
Oh, yeah.
And these two, it was no different. Like, fuck, they brutalized each other with the strap. They made each other bust open.
Yep.
And I think it was the same rules. You had to pat the turnbuckle all four sides.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that happened. And, oh, yeah, that happened. And then, of course, Wahoo McDaniel won.
Yep.
And, yeah, you know what? I've seen a lot of Wahoo's matches in the past. Like I said, I don't remember a lot of them because I watched those a long time ago. But he was a really good wrestler.
Oh, yeah. Wahoo was fantastic.
And I think he was an actual Native American.
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Wahoo was undefeated in Indian strap matches.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty cool. And I believe Wahoo got into wrestling. I believe he played professional football.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was
One of the wrestlers that were into football before they...
Yeah. I think it was the Oakland Raiders, I believe. Anyways,
Yeah.
we go on to now probably the most infamous match of the night. It was a unification match for the AWA and the WCWA World Heavyweight titles. The AWA champion, Jerry Lawler, against the World Class Heavyweight champion, Kerry Von Erich.
Yep, Texas versus Tennessee once again.
Yep.
And I mean, this match, yeah. There was a rumor, and I don't know who said it. Apparently, Kerry was fucked up during this match. He could have been, I don't know. But,
No idea.
yeah, this was pretty cool. And I mean, again, and I said this before, back then, Jerry Lawler was a fucking madman. And I mean, that's kind of the way it was, you know. He definitely, you know, could go in the ring. And I mean, at that time, he was in his late 30s. And which is fucking weird to say now, but he definitely could go in the ring and he was a multiple champion.
Oh yeah, he had titles everywhere he was.
His matches with Terry Funk, you know, Andy Kaufman even, Jackie Fargo.
Jackie Fargo, yeah.
And just so on and so forth. And we don't talk about WWF because, I mean, yeah, he had good matches there in the early 90s and whatever, but his real shit was in Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
WA. So...
Yeah, he had good matches in the WWF, but you want to see his best matches, you say? Watch anything from Memphis or anything AWA-wise.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I believe he had a really good battle with Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's actually... I think he beat Kurt Hennig for the AWA Championship.
I believe so, yeah.
So...
And, of course, Lawler won the match.
Oh.
Because the referee stopped the match because Kerry was bleeding like a stuck pig.
Oh, God, yeah. And it all started with, like, a pun. You know, like, Lawler just hammered him.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then, like, fucking, you have Lawler on the ground, and he's doing the claw. And he's, bleeding like a stuffed pig. Just kind of like, when I first saw that match, I kind of felt like dumping a bucket of water on his face just to see how many scars or cuts he had.
Yeah.
Because he was just covered like a crimson mask. It was just insane, but yeah. The doctor comes out and the referee is talking to the doctor, and basically that's how the match ended. They stopped the match, and yeah, it's shitty, but that's just the way it was, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure they wrestled for a little bit longer before Kerry went to WWF as Texas Tornado.
Yes. And finally, to conclude the evening, you got a tag team match. You got the famous and infamous Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. I guess the stud stable, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden.
Hell yeah.
Not Garvin, Golden.
Yes. Yeah. This was a good match too. And a while ago I was watching Classic Wrestling.
Right.
On a Fight Network.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an interview with Ricky Morton.
Ricky Morton, yeah.
And he still looks good for 63, I believe.
Oh, yeah. No, both Ricky and Robert look absolutely fantastic for their age.
But this was a good match too. And, I mean, legendary Rock and Roll Express. Like, holy shit.
This match ended in a double disqualification.
Christ almighty. So this was a really good match. And yeah, like you said, I don't know why I can't read that, but anyways.
That's why I read the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. But, and once again, it's a shame. You have a good pay-per-view and all these matches, and what? 2 or 3 matches end in a count-out or a disqualification? Like,
well, you got the match with Garvin and Greg go a count-out. You got a referee stoppage with Lawler and Kerry, and then a disqualification in the tag match. Other than that, the rest of the card went fine.
oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, this was a good card. And, you know, like I said, wanted to think about something to post for Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And looking at the card, and oh my god, this was December 17th.
Which is actually today.
No, it was, well, whatever the fuck it was, I'll post it.
Yeah.
But it was in December. But
Right.
it was a very good show. And I mean, yeah, it closed its doors in 91 and 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, still very good. You know, to see these guys that eventually, well, guys and girls, go to WWE in the future.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, Wendy Richter and Sergeant Slaughter had their careers in WWE earlier.
Yeah.
In the 80s. So then, of course, Ivory.
Oh, yeah.
Or Nina.
Yeah. Now, one name that I've noticed a few times on this lineup that I actually didn't realize was in the AWA. I don't know if he ever wrestled, but he was in the corner a few times.
Oh, yes.
And for a few matches in this card, Darren Dallas Page.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, so Diamond Dallas Page was a manager in the 80s in
Right.
AWA, and I'm not quite sure where else. I think it was just AWA. And then, of course, he managed Scott Hall in WCW.
The early 90s.
Yep. And then, yeah, I think he was like 36 when he started wrestling.
Yeah.
About, so I mean, it comes full circle, and I mean, that's pretty cool to see his career back then.
Oh, yeah.
How fucking young he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So this has been another episode of Wheels of Fury. This has been another Christmas special, holiday special, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Chanukah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, have a safe and happy holiday.
Mm-hmm.
From Killer Kyle and myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have no idea, before we cheers, I have no idea what's gonna happen for New Year's that time. Because apparently there's a new variant, but I hope strongly that we get together for New Year's and we do our New Year's episode. We
Yeah.
cover 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know what the future is going to hold.
So I think we'll just say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, stay safe, hope you have a good one. We'll see you on New Year's. If not, we'll see you in the New Year.
Nostrovia.
Nostrovia.
So, that being said, next year there's going to be a lot of good shows to do.
Yep.
You know, we have Year One.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Hard to Kill.
New Year's Evil.
New Year's Evil. There's some other things in between.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm not sure. I don't think this is the end.
No.
But you know what? If it is, it's been one hell of a year.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll do something or figure something out like we did last time.
Yeah.
But 2021, even though we were still trying to figure things out with this whole pandemic thing, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, we will talk to you next time.
Yep.
Deuces.
Until next time.